For all you fans of model railways, here are 12 layouts exhibited at the Perth Model Railway Show 2019. This video is part 1 of a 3-part series here on the Heritage and Model Rail channel. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified as soon as I release another part. You can view the following layout Oldbury here, modelled in 00 gauge and exhibited by the Perth Model Railway Group.
Albury is a double O gauge layout which represents a Western Region terminus station. So typically ex-Great Western Railway. If you look at the architecture of the station, and in fact most of the rolling stock we have on the layout this weekend, you will detect a very Western Region theme. So the layout is digital command control, commonly called DCC. And this enables us to run locomotives with sound fitted. So this adds a certain atmosphere to the layout as well. The layout was built a number of years ago, not by us actually, but we purchased the layout and did a big conversion job, refurbished it and turned it from analogue control to digital control. This gave the layout a new lease of life. And since then we've shown the layout all over the country and also had it featured in a couple of magazines. So it just shows what can be done to breathe new life into a layout. We're very pleased with the layout, and in fact it draws crowds and is very popular as a discussion point. Today we've had lots of people asking questions on how we built the layout and how we control it, and it's really useful to be able to demonstrate the technical side on what is quite a small layout.
Here you can view the layout Khadem Bay, modelled in 00 gauge and exhibited by the Glenrothes Model Railway Club. Okay, so I'm here with Stephen from the Glenrothes Model Railway Club.
Well, Cadham Bay is basically a fictional layout, but ideas have been drawn from places within Fife and further afield, such as Valencia Harbour, etc. It's a double O gauge. The layout is actually about 36 feet in length. Buildings are a combination of scratch built and kits. Some of the kits have been bought but they've been converted to suit the design. The biggest building on the layout is the Bayview Hotel. That was a scratch build and that took about 2 years to construct. Based from mid-90s right through to modern day.
I know you've got some interesting features on there with the burning buildings and so on. So how have you put all those together?
Right, the burning building, the actual building itself is made up from various kits. The actual smoke is using what they call a smoky generator. That was obtained from March Model Bits down in Wales. It's originally designed for a boat, for puffing out steam on a boat, and we actually adapted it to suit the layout where it was actually blown up through the building and out over the top.
How many operators do you have to keep it going?
We can run by a minimum of 3, but ideally we need the 4th person at the front as the picker-upper if there's anything, because we can't reach the front of the layout from the back.
Do you run to any particular schedule, or is it just on a first come first served basis?
First come first served. Each operator operates their section independently, and it's just basically one train goes out, comes back in, one in, one out basically.
How long did it take to put together?
It took about 2.5 to 3 years to actually get the layout constructed before it went to an exhibition. It's coming on for about 7 years now on the circuit now, the exhibition circuit. Right. Generally it works okay. Occasionally you get a few electrical problems, but it's like every layout, you do good days and your bad days.
You can view the following layout Elderslie station here, modelled in 00 gauge and exhibited by the Air Model Railway Group. This station was built by the Glasgow, Paisley, Kilmarnock and Air Railway, later the G&SWR, in 1840, and survived into the 1960s under British Railways when it was demolished. It had 4 platform faces and over the years saw a wide diversity of locomotives and trains. The station depicted here is as built, with station canopies and finished in G and SWR red. The canopies were removed at a later date and the final colour scheme was BR cream. The two G and SWR signal boxes are in later BR colours. The layout is 36 feet long and 16 feet wide, excluding barriers. There are two main running lines in each direction, and two storage loops are provided for each direction. Due to space restrictions, the original Elderslie station track plan has been modified insofar as all the adjacent loops and sidings have been omitted. The junctions, Paisley Canal lines at the north end and the Loch Winnock Loop Greenock lines at the south end have also been omitted. The station buildings and the signal boxes are the main scenic features of the layout and have been accurately modelled from the original G and SWR drawings. The layout can be operated by two operators running two trains simultaneously in each direction, plus an additional person whose duties include stewarding the layout and answering questions from the public. There are two fixed control panels, with one housing a two-channel DCC controller and the other with two DC controllers. The latter can be supplemented with a handheld controller. A variety of stock can be run covering the following periods: GNSWR, LMS, BR Steam and BR Green Diesel. You can view the following layout Almond Bridge here, modelled in 00 gauge and exhibited by the Perth Model Railway Group. Almond Bridge is a fictional location situated somewhere in mainland Britain and is set in modern times, covering the period from the 1980s to the current day scene. This time frame allows for the display of rolling stock from the British Rail blue-grey era to the ever-changing liveries of the privatised railway companies which currently operate throughout the UK. Whilst the town name is fictitious, the main track plan is loosely based on that at Stirling circa 2003, and modeller's licence has been liberally applied to add additional tracks, a loco refuelling stabling point, permanent way and commercial freight sidings and platforms. The track and point motors are standard Pico. The buildings are proprietary carbon plastic kits modified to fit the scene. The 9-arch viaduct was made by utilising and adapting 3 proprietary card single-line viaduct kits glued onto a wooden and ply frame. The girder bridge is built around a wood frame and pillars, using multiple plastic kits for the superstructure. The storage yard baseboards have been built as a universal unit and can be used in a 4, 5 or 6 board configuration, depending on the requirements of the display layout. This eliminates the need to build separate storage yards for future display layouts, which may be shorter than Almond Bridge. You can view the following layout Campbells Quarry here, modelled in 16mm scale and exhibited by John Campbell. This quirky little industrial model is based around 2 sand pits, each with its own working Ruston Bicrus 10RB digger, one of the dragline type and one with a face shovel. The pits are served by a narrow gauge railway employing a battery operated and radio controlled diesel locomotive. The sand is excavated from one pit, placed in the railway tippers and transferred to the other where it is automatically unloaded. After shunting, the sand will then be scooped into the tippers and transported to the original pit, where it is again automatically unloaded. The ultimate recycling layout. Here you can view the layout Valencia Harbour, modelled in 00 scale, 21mm gauge, and exhibited by Andy Cundick. Valencia Harbour is a layout set in County Kerry, Ireland in 1935. The line to Valencia left the Great Southern Railway line between Killarney and Tralee at 4 and 4 and was built in stages between 1885 and 1893. Valencia's chief claims to fame were being the westernmost railhead in Europe and the point where the North Atlantic telegraph cable entered the Atlantic, hence the warning triangle by the building. The line itself was closed in 1960. The model is built to 4mm scale and to the correct gauge of 5 foot 3 inches, 21mm. The stock is mainly kit built from various sources. Here you can view the layout Glenfinnan, modelled in 00 gauge and exhibited by Bonnybridge Model Railway Club. Glenfinnan is a 4mm fine scale layout based on the West Highland station situated between Fort William and Malay. The period modelled is the blue corporate era of the 1970s to late 1980 and concentrates on diesel haul traffic associated with the region at this time. The steam haul service is also modelled in the form of the Jacobite, which makes frequent trips during the summer season. The baseboards are of a modular construction supplied by Tim Horn, and although initially designed as a circular layout, the design was altered later to a U-shape end-to-end to allow for greater flexibility. The layout is wired for DCC and is powered by a Gaugemaster Prodigy advanced system. The track system is C+L fine scale with Pico Code 75 point work, which is operated by Tortoise slow action motors. All the locos have been weathered and have been sound fitted from a variety of different suppliers, which are then tweaked to give the best possible sound and performance. Here you can view the layout, the Streamliners, modelled in O gauge and exhibited by Dale Smith. The era of the speed competition, mainly between the LNER and LMS, saw the streamlined engines and elegant travel in the fastest trains of the period. London to Edinburgh was a great adventure and a luxury. The layout features coronations and A4s aplenty, including ones with local association such as the Union of South Africa and the Duchess of Hamilton, and even Archie Sinclair from the Southern. Rakes of beautiful coaches aim to outshine each other in a dazzling riot of colour. Here you can view the layout Treffburg, modelled in HO gauge and exhibited by Renfrewshire Model Railway Club. Trefburg is a mythical town which has its origins in Bavaria. Cross-border workings between Germany, Austria, Switzerland and Italy are commonplace. The aim of the layout is to replicate this scene, to be able to show a variety of express, local and freight workings which seem to be able to exist happily together in real life. We have created a typical small town which, in addition to its main line, complete with Hauptbahnhof, main station, also features a tramway system which serves the town and outlying villages in the surrounding countryside. This is the Treftelbahn, which makes its way as a tramway in the town and as a light railway in the country, where it passes through typical alpine scenery before returning to the interchange point at Trefburg Hauptbahnhof, where trains, trams and buses all come together as an integrated transport link. The stock running on the tramway again replicates the type seen in the towns and cities in the region. The layout consists of 4 boards, giving a total length of 8 metres. The baseboards are mostly plywood or chipboard on a wooden frame, and the country scenery is polystyrene covered with dental plaster. Although the trees were purchased, the greenery is created by flock sprinkled onto wet gloss paint. The buildings are all scratch built from mountboard, and whilst most are creations of the imagination, 1 or 2 are modelled on real buildings in the Tyrol area of Austria. The buildings are designed to give a sense of depth to the layout, and this is complemented by a back scene which expands the town area and takes the eye into the distant mountains. The track consists of an inner and outer circuit with scenery on the front only, entering the tunnels at each end of the layout. Coming out of the tunnel at the town end of the layout, the tracks divide to give 3 lines in each direction through the station, 2 giving platform access and 1 which can be used as a bypass. Out of sight at the rear of the layout are tracks in each direction, which give plenty storage and allow for a variety of trains to be seen at exhibitions. The tramway, which operates as a single circuit at an elevated level, also has 4 storage roads at the rear. Here you can view the layout Wallacetoun Junction, modelled in N-gauge and exhibited by Dundee Model Railway Club. The layout is loosely based on a station that used to be situated on the road between Newtile and Meagle by the Belmont Arms Hotel, called Alyth Junction. This was on the line that ran between Perth and Aberdeen, with other stations at Cooper Angus, Forfar, Glamis, Guthrie and Bridge of Dun, to name but a few. It was at Alyth Junction that the lines from Dundee via Newtile and the branch to Alyth via Meagle joined the main line. The Perth to Forfar section was originally opened in 1848, but it closed to passengers in 1967, though freight traffic continued until the line was finally closed in 1981. You can view the following layout Rolvenden here, modelled in P4 gauge and exhibited by Robin Gay. Rolvenden is a Colonel Stevens light railway. It is modelled in P4 and it represents the station of that name on the Kent and East Sussex Railway in the mid-1920s. Using plans, drawings and photos, John has done his best to accurately represent the site within the constraints of the space available. Outside of the station limits, John has used modeller's licence to bring some typical Kentish scenes, such as an oast house, a hop garden and a windmill to the layout. The layout and all the stock are John's own work and represent around 20 years' work. Many of the trains run as mixed, putting off and shunting the sidings on their way through. The trains run from a cassette storage fiddle yard at the Roberts Bridge end through to an automatic turntable at the headcorn end. You can view the following layout Purbeck here, modelled in 009 4mm scale, 9mm gauge, and exhibited by John Thorne.
This is my layout Purbeck, which is a layout which represents the ball clay industry of the Isle of Purbeck in Dorset. The line was used for transporting ball clay and survived until about 1970. All the stock is scratch built, engines, wagons, coaches, etc., and buildings. And the idea of the layout was to represent the ball clay industry, which is mining, weathering and then processing the clay, but at the same time extend the layout so that we could run a range of narrow gauge items on the line. There are a number of prototypical items that we use on the layout, such as models of the original engines, models of the original wagons. There's a model of the original foreman's hut. So mixed with authenticity is a little bit of whimsy.
I have other model railway exhibition videos that you will like. Why not check them out? Don't forget to like and comment on any of the content. See you soon.